minutes late. I'll blame you, though, for being 6 minutes late. Hello, welcome back to my channel. Yes. So, as you heard, I'm blaming Liam for being late 6 minutes. It's actually my fault. I'm spending like 5 minutes here backstage trying to get this to look great. And it doesn't even look that good, to be honest, but I'll blame Liam. Just blame Liam, guys. Trust me, that's how it works. That's what football clubs do. Like, they make mistakes, they blame someone else. Look at Arsenal. They're crying that Man City is buying players now. Liverpool is crying that we're buying players. Everyone is crying that we're buying players. So, talking about buying players, we're just going to talk about the ones that we completed from June 3rd to June 10th. So, the first transfer window. Obviously, a transfer window coming up July 1st and onwards, but we're talking about this transfer window just passed. And I must say, this was a proper world-class transfer window. And I give it a 9 out of 10 personally, because I don't give 10 out of 10 quickly. But almost never, really. The one thing that we could have done to make it a 10 out of 10 is gotten words on top of everything we already got. And I get that's not realistic, but here's the thing. Perfection is not realistic. So that's why I don't give it a 9 out of 10. A 10 out of 10. But for me, I'm very happy with all the players we signed. And they all want to play for us. Like all of them, they're desperate to play for this club. So that's why I'm so happy with every signing we've made here.
Yeah, I'm buzzing as well, to be honest. When we didn't get votes, people know in this chat who ever tuned into me, I did a little bit of a rant stream, like where we going, what's happening here. And I saw some reports saying that Dani Olmo could be the second choice. And for me, I don't rate that guy at all. He's always injured. And I went on a rant about that. And I was like, oh, who's this Hugo Viana guy? What's going on here? But honestly, because I'm stunned. I'm absolutely stunned at how good he is, how quick he's got the deals done. It's actually unbelievable. I'm so happy with this window. It's Min, and yeah, big up to everyone in the chat. Make sure you smash likes and sub to Alf as well.
Yeah, so Netherlands, by the way, smashed Malta 8-0. I'm seeing a bunch of people hyping up Xavi Simons now because Malta won.
Oh no, I don't rate that guy.
What are we doing? What are we doing? Hyping up Xavi Simons because the Netherlands won against Malta. I would hope they win against Malta. But yeah, a bit besides the point. Where is your head? People are going to be walking around here in my room, so I'm just not showing my face until they're gone. Big up to Ahmed. Big up Alfie says. LB and LB. Huh? LB and LB.
Basically, someone rage baited me in my chat the other day saying, why do you always copy LB? And I fell for it. So I basically went on a 5-minute rant at him saying, no, look, how is this copying? How is this copying? So now everyone just says I copy LB. But I don't know why he's calling you LB. But I get why he's saying LB to me.
I guess you know what it is. You know what it is. I just must be that big. I just must be that big. I'm being compared to LB. We're almost at 1,000, guys. We're almost at 1,000. I'm massive. Yeah, Rangers FC. Did Rangers even play against Malta? I'm not sure.
I don't think Ake or Rangers played. Neither played. No, I don't think so.
We have the official pronunciation, by the way, dropped.
Yeah, I was practicing that before. I was literally went over it so many times, and I think actually from the start I was saying Rangers, and I don't remember who it was. Someone told me no, it's Reinders. Stop saying Rangers. So I switched to Reinders, but in the end, I think it's like Tajani Reinders. That's right in the end.
That's how you pronounce it. And well, I taught you how to pronounce it, but I think you forgot. Yeah, you need to update your PFP, by the way. You've got 4K now. Someone said that in chat. Hello, Rosa. How are you? Terrorist, Jesus. Calm down, Formidables. Calm down. Yeah, the numbers were revealed. The numbers of the players. Do we really care about shirt numbers? Is that a big deal?
Some people, it really bugs them. I would care if, say, like, Cherky stayed on 29, if 10 will eventually be free. But as long as 29 is just temporary, because I do want him to get the 10 But on a whole, I couldn't really care that much, to be honest.
Yeah,
Mine's a bit random.
Yeah, that as well. But like, let's be honest. Phil Foden's number 47. Like, that's random. Like, I know it's got meaning now because of what's happened with his grandfather. But when Phil Foden first got that number, it was random. When De Bruyne came here, 17, that was random. These numbers, who cares about these numbers? Like, I'll be honest. Echeverri, number 30, that's random. People are saying it's because of Messi. I doubt it, to be honest. Big up to Oliver, by the way. Good, what about you? Club Next and Club Women got 2 Dutch managers. Okay. I know you've been subscribed for a while, but I'm just saying, like, Liam doesn't know all my subscribers, obviously. And it's also difficult to keep track, to be honest. Once you start seeing a certain amount of people flooding into your chat. But yeah, let's actually talk about the players we got. Let's actually talk about them. First, I want to talk about the first signing we actually got over the line, technically speaking. Tijani Reinders. That's the first one we actually got over the line. And funnily enough, the last one to be officially announced. So, funny how that goes. But yeah, Reinders, Serie A player of the season, or midfielder of the season, or whatever it was. They've obviously been a very good player for a long time. And he's always happy. You said that on your stream, he's always happy. And I didn't really pay attention to that, but I went back and I went to a bunch of videos, I went to a bunch of photos of him, and he's always smiling. But you know what I did? I looked up some stuff of Reinders at AC Milan. But he wasn't smiling at AC, bro. So, bro, we have cured his depression, bro. What do you think about Reinders?
I'm absolutely buzzing with that. I'm genuinely over the moon with his signing. I remember we were linked to him back in April. I was actually on a walk, in like a long walk. It was absolutely throwing it down. I just turned on my phone and saw a link to Reinders. I was like, I got my hopes up, and I was in a good mood then. And I thought, well, nothing will ever happen from it. But in the end, we've gone and got him. In the end, I think it wasn't a long saga. It didn't take that long, as far as I can remember. I'm really happy with his signing. It's perfect. It's versatile. Pep loves that as well. I was going to get his shirt number on Friday, but apparently 4 could be temporary. I don't know. I'm not sure. But he's going to be so good next to Rodri, and he can play through balls as well. I think it was a stream on last Friday I did. We're looking at his like through ball completion rate. I was comparing him to other midfielders, and the amount of through balls he plays and the completion rate was more than like some of these class midfielders in the world. Like you name them, like all the best midfielders in the world right now. So I think he'll bring a lot to us. Rodri and Reinders. Well, he's taken up the great number 4, Calvin Phillips. It's not remembered because of company; it's remembered because of Phillips. But
absolutely.
He's going to be great. I can't wait for him. And Rodri, that's the obvious one. I think him and Haaland's also going to be a partnership that's going to be discreetly there. I think Rangers will set up Haaland quite a few times, but because we'll have mad partnerships like Cherky Haaland, Marmoush Haaland. I don't think many people speak about it, but I also think Rangers and Haaland can build a good connection as well. And maybe we'll go into the fullback, of course, Aït-Nouri in a second. But when Aït-Nouri pulls back the ball, Reinders on the edge of the box. We all know that from lots of goals he scored last season. He can shoot from outside the box. He's a very good box crusher too.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you're already talking a bit about Aït-Nouri. We'll talk about him in a second. But you know what my thing is, yeah? Because people are often focused a lot on binaries. And what I mean by that is De Bruyne Haaland. People talk about that a lot. Or they'll talk about, for example, Foden Haaland, like these binary connections. And at a functional football club, you shouldn't be in binary connections. You should be in a hierarchy, obviously, of who's your better player and who's your less respected, or well, maybe not less respected, but less renowned players. But all players should ideally have a certain level of connection. And I want to see the connection that Reinders develops with Haaland, and that he develops with Aït-Nouri, that he develops with Cherki, that he develops with Marmoush, probably left winger. I want to see these relationships develop, and I want to see how well can these guys be if they play 4 seasons together. Because 1 season together, they can be good. But all these guys still be here, hopefully, in 4 or 5 years from now. So I'm not just excited about next season. What I'm most excited about is the long-term aspect of these signings. Rangers as well. He's very good in the box. He's very good at heading the ball. We have lacked that for a while. Erling Haaland this season has often run onto the far post because guess what? 3 centre backs around Haaland. He can't do anything. Best bet is I can jump higher than everyone else. Let me run onto the far post and hope I get onto our header. With actually getting someone there who can go onto that far post for Haaland and Reinders, Haaland no longer has to do that. Because someone will have to go to the far post with Reinders. And you'll have Marmoush come into the box. And Sherky come into the box. Or Foden, whichever one it is. And then one of them will stay on the edge of the area. This way, yeah, Haaland will be way more effective. And this rebuild is building around Haaland. And that's what I'm most excited about. It's not the quality of players. There is quality, of course, but it's the way that they can, at least on paper, make Haaland better. That's what we've lacked this season the most. Other than a right back, of course.
Yeah, I do think we're going to see a lot of people who, let's be honest, I'm going to be honest here, don't really have a clue, have blamed Haaland this season for, well, sometimes, yes, he's got chances and not taking them. That's very rare. It's been the system, it's been the players around him simply not being able to find him. Then they say, oh, but he's not making runs anymore. Well, yeah, he was making loads of runs at the start of the season, the middle of the season. Eventually, you probably give up when no one will pass you the ball forwards. Haaland, I think, for me next season, I know it's going to be difficult. I think he will get back to treble season level. I think with fullbacks, I think that's going to help him. Haaland's only played with fullbacks in his first 3 months at City. Coincidence or coincidence not, that was his best 3 months at the club. When he first joined the club with all them goals, he was scoring like hat-tricks every game. I do think that Haaland is, this is built around Haaland. Viana's done a great job at that. Aït-Nouri will have a great connection. I think going to look at him assisting him at least 4 or 5 times next season. Reinders the same. Cherky Haaland, I'm expecting. That's what I hope is going to be our replacement for De Bruyne Haaland to get that G8 racked up. And also Omar Marmoush as well. Can take away defenders and centre-backs from Haaland. And defenders are going to be all over the place. Cherky, Haaland, Marmoush. They can't mark Haaland anymore, and you leave one player on Haaland, he'll dust you. So it's as simple as that.
By the way,
Viana's done a great job.
By the way, I'm going off topic here, but I just want to say, Liam, name one centre back that has ever gotten better of that has ever gotten better of Haaland in 2 games. Name one centre back that has 2 games gotten the better of Haaland. It don't exist.
2 games that have to be in 1 season, or
I think let's say in 2 seasons. Within 2 seasons.
In 2 seasons. Rudiger did it the treble season, but then for some reason Ancelotti dropped him for second leg. We won 4-0. So that was 1 game.
But did he though? Because why did Ancelotti drop him? Why did Ancelotti drop Rudiger? Because Rudiger kept going with Haaland, and a bunch of our other players had space. That's why De Bruyne scored that goal.
Yeah,
that is because Rudiger should have not been on Haaland. He should have left Haaland and stopped De Bruyne from getting a shot off. He didn't. De Bruyne got the shot off, scored. That's why Rudiger was dropped. This is where people sometimes don't understand football. Rudiger got the better of Haaland into Bernabeu, but still failed to do his overall duty as a centre-back. So when you're doing your duty as a centre-back, you can't get the better of Haaland. It just doesn't happen twice in the span of 2 seasons. Rudiger did it at the Bernabeu, not in the treble season, but actually in the 4-beat season. He had a better game there, but nobody remembers that because that's a 3-3 crazy game. But if you actually look at the game, Haaland against Rudiger, Bernabeu 4-beat season, Rudiger was a lot better in that game. However, in the second leg, Haaland was our best playmaker. Go check the statistics. Haaland made the best chances in that game. So Haaland was not being marked effectively by Rudiger. This is the problem with Haaland. If you're an opposition player, of course. For us, it's a great thing to have. For opposition teams, if you want to mark Haaland, you lose one player. You just permanently lose a defender. And what do Man City lose? Someone who, let's be honest, is not that involved in build-up anyhow. Man City lose way less. But the moment you stop marking Haaland, now you're pretty much asking Haaland to score a goal. So the reason why Haaland was useless this season, in my opinion, is because when Haaland is being tripled up on, nobody else is going to score. Whereas in every other time, you triple up on Haaland, either De Bruyne is going to score, Gundogan in the treble season, Kovacic even recently, Foden, Rodri when he was fit. There were so many players who would just pick up a goal out of nowhere if you marked Haaland too tightly. This season, our second most GA is, I believe, 9.
Wow, that's shocking. It's actually terrible.
By the way, Rosa, you're going a bit too soon here. Rosa says Haaland is our GOAT. A bit too soon, that I think.
Nah,
a bit too
that's
soon.
Kevin. That's Kevin.
Yeah, it's still Kevin for me. It's still Kevin. I mean, Haaland will surpass him probably, unless something big happens. But for now, it's still Kevin, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think De Bruyne, David Silva, they're still my 2 favourite City players ever.
Yeah, but GOAT and favourite is 2 different things, of course. Because my favourite City player is actually Nasri.
Oh, yeah.
But he's obviously not the GOAT.
Yeah, it's different.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course not.
Yeah, anyhow, we were talking about Rangers. Sorry, I took that completely off topic. But coming back to the topic with the entire rant I just had, Rangers will pick up goals. He's picked up goals in a worse AC Milan team. I believe he had 10 goals in Serie A. He's going to pick up goals. He's going to solve that issue for us, at least from midfield. So that's why I think Rangers. He's also very good defensively, by the way, because sometimes Rodri and Nico Gonzalez both, they like to go up the pitch sometimes. So if Rangers can hold down the defensive area, you're going to have these other players pushing up. I think Rangers is probably our most important signing so far. Do you agree with that?
Yes, because for me, the midfield is what the Rodri needs someone to play next to him. We just couldn't have gone into next season with a midfield of what would have been Rodri, and then one of the unks would have been starting, Gundo, Kovacic, Bernardo. We couldn't have done that. Reinders for me was always my guy. Even before we were linked to him, I always thought he was one of the best players that City could have brought in. We've brought him in. I'm buzzing about it, and it's just going to be mint. I can't wait for him. And I do reckon this time next week we'll be sat here reviewing him box crashing and scoring a goal versus Wydad. And we'll see what you just said. The players marking Haaland, Cherky might score a goal because Haaland's being man-marked. Rangers might score a goal because Haaland's being man-marked. So now the day's over this season of you can man-mark Haaland and no one else will do anything, because now we've got the quality Rodri coming back as well. Players can score from outside the box. So we're just going to be a whole lot better in the attack and a whole lot more unpredictable.
Yeah, and on to a slightly more boring subject. Marcus, how is his name pronounced? Marcus?
I think it's, instead of Martinelli, I think it's Bettinelli. So the Anelli, but with Bet in front of it. I'm pretty sure it's
Bettinelli.
I'm pretty sure,
Yeah, Marcus, whatever. Marcus, we'll call him Marcus, bro. Not Rashford.
Yeah.
The better Marcus, I guess. He's a goalkeeper, third choice goalkeeper. To me, he seems like the obvious Scott Carson replacement. I mean, just homegrown quota. Is there anything really interesting to say about him?
He'll never reach the GOAT status of Scott Carson, that's all I know. But
I don't know, maybe he will.
Well,
maybe he'll win 2 trebles off the bench.
Well, if he can give us a good luck charm in a place again like Scott Carson did in Istanbul, well, maybe he will be. But maybe. Nah, I don't. Well, I hope we see him on the pitch one day. I do want to see him on the pitch one day. Hopefully, we win the league early. We get to see him in a game like we saw Scott Carson at Newcastle when we won the league in 2021.
Yeah.
I swear he saved the pen that game. I'm almost certain he did.
But
yeah.
No, I don't believe he saved a pen, but he did make a big save in that game. I don't believe it was a pen.
I just look at the highlights now, actually. But yeah, nothing really much else to say there. Apart from, yeah, good homegrown, got a player in and just refreshing stuff again. Great stuff from Viana again.
Yeah, I agree, but Ortega, we're going a bit in the future here, but staying on topic with Marcus, we've got one homegrown goalkeeper in now. Should Ortega leave, I think the idea should be to replace Ortega with a homegrown goalkeeper as bench option as well, because our homegrown is actually very tight right now.
Yeah. Who could we do though? Because James Trafford is not going to be number 2. Well, I kind of wish he would, but he probably won't be. That could be something you're looking to do, but if Ortega's happy to stay and we've got a good number 2 there, would City be looking to replace him and be replacing his slot for a homegrown slot? Probably that is the slot you have to replace, really, because you're not replacing any established players just to get homegrown. It's difficult. I won't mind seeing him go for homegrown because it's going to become a problem, and City do need to address that. And I'm pretty confident in Viana that he can address it. And let's see how much this guy can sell players for. I'm interested. I saw a report saying he's going to ask 50 million for Grealish. Laugh at that. If he could pull off 40, I'd be stunned. I'd actually be stunned. But I'm not putting anything past that guy now because he shut me up after what I was criticising him before the window started.
Nah, I never criticised too heavily. Like I was just more so like criticising loosely I was criticising the board like loosely, but I was never putting our name behind it because let's be honest, we don't know what's happening in the boardrooms. We know someone is fucking up sometimes. We don't know who it is. But Viana, I'm always willing to be patient with these new people coming in. Like, this is the problem we often have here. New manager comes in. People have no patience. Let me show you an example. When Pep Guardiola first came to Man City, what did people say? They want Pellegrini back.
Yeah. Won't work in this league. The football won't work, all that.
Yeah, and people, Man City fans, wanted Pellegrini back. In fact, we had a banner. I don't know if it's the last day of the season or if it was like the end of the season or whatever. But like, we had a banner near the end of the season saying, "Keep your Guardiola. We want Pellegrini." Man City fans did not want Pep. So if you think Pep is the greatest of all time, Man City fans did not even want to give Pep a chance. Same with Viana. Viana comes in. He's not even done anything yet. Window hasn't opened yet, and people are already slagging him off. Now, to be fair, I was fuming after the words deal that we pulled out. But people need to be able to give time to new signings coming in, to new managers, to new upper management, like directors and stuff. You need to give it time. But like, you can't judge these people on 2 weeks, 3 weeks. And you know what's funniest, yeah? Everyone was singing Viana's name in January. But then before the summer window, people were slagging him off again.
Yeah, that's interesting. It is interesting. I was just a bit reactionary. Sure, I don't think I remember calling him anything. I was just like, what's going on here? Hugo Viana, you not got your target? Have you actually pulled out? What's going on? I got a bit angry, but I just got rattled. I believe the Dani Olmo rumor that we're going to go for him instead. I was like, what's going on here? Because when I'm rattled, I believe anything.
If we went for the Dani Olmo, if we actually went for the Dani Olmo, I think I would have cried.
I would have been in tears for days, and I did say I would have done a 6-hour rant stream. I would have got everyone on if we went for Dani Olmo because we would have been finished. that guy is, first of all, overrated by people online, people who don't watch him. I don't watch him much, but every time I've watched him, he's never impressed me. And also, is he actually got the same injury record as John Stones or something? So, if we ever, imagine we ever went for him
John
in the
Stones
past as well.
replacement.
play centre back in like a league against League One teams, maybe when Stones is injured.
To be fair to Olmo, yeah, I think Olmo is a good player. I don't think he's a midfielder. I think he's a striker, not a false nine, a striker, just pure striker. I think that's what Olmo is, because when you actually put Olmo up the pitch, yeah, he's good at holding up the ball. He's quick passing, which can be very useful for the striker to get the ball down, pass it off quickly. He's very good finishing, but he's not a playmaker. He doesn't really control the game that well. So, in my opinion, yeah, Dani Olmo is just a striker. He's just a striker, in my opinion. So, in fact, you know what I think Barca need to do when Lewandowski leaves? They need to put Dani Olmo up striker, and he'll get 20 goals if they do that. Anyhow, from Czechia, we need to get Livramento. We may as well get Livramento. Again, going a bit ahead of ourselves, but we got our left back this summer. We got our, not this summer, but this window. We got our midfielder. We got a right winger, attacking midfielder, whatever you call him. The biggest glaring hole now is that right back area. We've saved a lot of money on these transfers. Reinders is, correct me if I'm mistaken, 70 million euros, which translates to 60 million pounds. Sherky, was he 35 million pounds?
35. Yeah. No, I think it was your? I actually don't know. It was definitely 35 euros a pound either way.
Yeah, so these are players who came in cheap. We have only spent 124 million pounds. We have, let's assume that we have the same type of window as 17-18. Do you know how much pounds we spent that summer if you adjust for inflation? Which, by the way, the club was way less rich back then.
Oh, goodness. If you adjusted that for inflation, you're definitely looking at near 400, 500 maybe.
350 million pounds. It was 350 million pounds.
So we could spend like 200 million more and be fine. And the rival tiers as well would be unreal. It would be unreal.
And the reason I mentioned that, yeah, is because people are worried about homegrown, and I get it. I'm a bit worried about it. But we can still, as you say, spend 200 million pounds and be completely fine PSR-wise. We can go and pay 90 million for a Livramento. Now, I'm not saying we should, but we can. We can do that. We can go and pay, 70 million for the Morgan Rogers, should you want these players. And we only need 2 more players, I believe, to get back into that homegrown area, that golden area that you need, assuming that Grealish, Stones, our auntie uncles basically leave.
Yeah, I do think that we should go all out for Livramento. It just ticks every box. I see a lot of people saying, no, we shouldn't go above 50. It's not that good. First of all, you have to factor in the market, then the homegrown, then the English tax, all of that. I just think that we can go all out for him. I think City probably will have a price they won't go above. But I think now we didn't get Wirtz and we have a lot of our budget left now, probably 200 million left to spend. Why can't City go out and go, here you go, Newcastle, 80 million? And if they say no, and we're that desperate for a right back, because I don't want that Wesley guy, offer 90, because I think the homegrown's important. And like you said, we need to get sorted because we could become in a sticky situation with that, especially with Grealish and Stones leaving.
It's not about what we think, it's the rules. It's not even what we think, it's the rules. If you don't buy a right back who's homegrown, you need to buy a midfielder a winger, or another goalkeeper. And in fact, that's not even enough. You need at least 2 of those. If you go by a winger, another winger, that's the end of Doku. Like, let's be honest, that's the end of Doku if you go by another winger. If you go by another midfielder, who's that gonna be? I'm not saying you shouldn't, by the way, but like, who's that gonna be, and where are they gonna play? You can go do it. Exactly. I have no problem with that. But I need to know what the idea is behind these signings. Are we gonna go buy another centre back? We've got 8 centre backs at the club, not counting Simpson Percy, who of course has refused to sign. So I used to set 9. Yahmai has refused to sign an extension. So we've still got 8 centre backs at the club. It looks like Yumaba will be going on loan. That is still 7 centre backs. So we can't buy a centre back. We need to buy homegrown somewhere.
It makes most sense to do it at right back because that's actually the position we need.
Absolutely, I agree. And there's a lot of quality right backs in that are homegrown. I think people have this idea that the right back market is poor. It isn't. I can name a bunch of good right backs who are not homegrown. Lucas Klosterman, very good right back, plays in Bundesliga. Has been very good for a long time, has won multiple cups. Kunde, Baldi, these are great right backs that play in La Liga. La Liga has a bunch of great right backs, Pedrosa or something. But if you go to just the Premier League, just homegrown, you have Livramento, Kieran Trippier, a bit on the older side, so maybe not. But that's already 2 guys. Wan-Bissaka is a solid player. I know he's Man United, and people like to be like, oh, he played for United, so he's shit. That's not how football works, guys. That's not how football works. You have Aina. I don't know if I mentioned that yet. But these are 4 homegrown right backs who are good. Very good. And they all are the same profile. The reason I mentioned these guys is because they're all defensive right backs first. Which is probably what we are going for. Because we'll be playing with a back 3. And then with 1 fullback staying behind, and the other fullback, Ait Nouri, pushing up. So there's a lot of good right backs out there, but people just don't rate a player until he's hyped up. I feel like that happens a lot.
Yeah, you make good points. As there is a lot of homegrown right backs. People rate players just. If other people rate them, there could be a really good player that's no one talking about because, maybe they're not good looking, maybe this, maybe that. You never know. He's Twitter mutants. Yeah, people do rate it based off that. You can tell on Twitter. Or maybe you don't have a good name. That's why people don't rate him. But no, I do. There's a lot of options. There's a lot of homegrown options. I do think. Sorry, my hay fever is terrible today. It's been hot and sunny. I do think that we should be going for a homegrown, like you said, for this right back position because we need homegrown. We need a right back. There's lots of homegrown right backs like you've just listed, and I see a couple of people saying that maybe we could just stick it out with Nunes or Wesley. I don't know if you know anything about this Wesley guy, but there was this Brazilian in my chat called Adam, and I've seen Brazilians online saying he's absolutely terrible. But I see some mutants hyping him up on Twitter who've probably never watched him. I don't think I've watched him either, but from what I'm going off what people have said who have watched him, he's terrible. And I've also watched a little compilation of mistakes just in 2025, worth up to 5 minutes of mistakes, most of them leading to goals, which ain't a good sign. We need to go and sign a homegrown right back. Who that is, I don't know. I think City can do everything now to go all out for Livramento. If it don't work, we can go after another one because, like you said, there's plenty to go there. But we definitely do need to make sure this right back's homegrown because there'll be a problem.
Yeah, and someone asks here, by the way, if you get a backup striker, maybe you can do that. Maybe you can go buy a backup striker from the Championship who is homegrown and still be happy to sit on the bench to get the wages, to play in the cup games, to play in the maybe lower league games, like against the weak opposition. But even then, that sounds well on paper. But is it going to be what striker are they going to go to and say, yo, Erling Haaland is going to play 35 games a season, you're going to play 3? What striker are they going to go to and tell that?
I don't know many Championship strikers, to be honest, but the only one who could accept it is probably players like a 38, 39, 40. I don't know. Can you name one? Because I can't think of one that I'd be willing to do it. I don't know Championship strikers, to be honest. Though I don't watch Championship much.
I can't name anyone either. Like it's a League One striker actually who's like up and coming, but like that's League One. So if we're gonna go buy someone from League One to be our striker backup, that's just grim. So I don't mind a backup striker. The problem is, it's so difficult to get a backup striker to the best striker in world of football. Let's be honest.
Yeah, because people won't be willing to sit on the bench. Simple as that. You play almost every game.
Yeah, the only chance to play football is if Erling Haaland is injured. That's why Alvarez left despite playing the most games that season in the fourth beat, because he knew Haaland is back, I'm sitting on the bench now, next season I'm going to sit on the bench too. That's just how it works. These players, they don't want to... maybe you can go find a striker who's homegrown, not that good, and is happy to sit on the bench. But are we then just going to get another player just for the homegrown?
I don't know. It's really difficult, to be honest. Could you sign? Could you have a fourth choice goalkeeper who's homegrown and add into the squad? Or you only allowed 3 goalkeepers?
we can.
Has anyone tried that?
We can register the fourth goalkeeper as a centre back.
Yeah, we can.
Or we can register Ederson as a midfielder.
Yeah, and then what's if we register him as a midfielder, we can still pay him at goalkeeper because players registered in the midfield often play up top. So I guess you can still do that. But it's an interesting one because I don't think any club's ever tried that before. Is that a little loophole just found? I don't know. I'm just trying to think, to be honest. That's the only thing I was just thinking of then.
We might as well just go put Ederson in midfield and go by Trafford.
Would you want Trafford? So I see a lot of people split.
I've talked to a few Championship fans, and some of them have said, yeah, he's okay, and some of them have said, nah, he's shit, but no one has said he's generational. That's the problem. No one I've talked to has told me this guy is generational. So you're always going to have split opinions, but if no one is rating this guy super highly, I don't think he's that guy, to be honest. Maybe sign Donnarumma for 40 million, says RTD. I don't think Donnarumma is happening, to be honest.
No, I just think it's his agent using us and to get a new, better contract in the end, to be honest. It'd be my dream keeper because I actually think we'd perhaps win the UCL with him next season because he's that sort of keeper, but I just don't see it happening. I think it's his agents using us for the money and the better contracts.
I agree. Now, from Jethhill again, big up to BBW74. How about snaring Vardy as Haaland's backup? Vardy is retiring, though. He's retiring. So,
yeah.
Would you or would you not Chris Wood? Personally, I wouldn't. Chris Wood is not homegrown, is he? He came from an Australian academy. What am I wrong?
Yeah, well, I would only do a backup striker for homegrown. So if Chris Wood ain't homegrown, no thanks. I also think Chris Wood was a bit of a flavour a month and a bit.
He's got 20 goals. He's got 20 goals. Let's be fair to him.
Is he? Oh, has he got 20? I thought.
Yeah, 20 league goals.
Oh, that's actually. I was going to say something then, but it's 20 league goals, all right. He'd be a good backup striker, but again,
the season before that, let me just let some stats ahead for the Chris Wood. In fact, let me share my screen so you can see these stats.
Yeah,
that might be.
Yeah, he'd be good as a striker.
There we go. That is a bit of a mess for people watching, but oh well, it's fine. It's fine, guys. So Chris Wood got 14 goals in the Premier League in 23-24. The season just passed. He got 20. So in 22-23, I want to see how much he got. He got only 3.
3, wow.
But he was injured that season. He only played 816 minutes. He had an injury season.
Oh, fair enough.
And so what about the season before that? Why does Transfermarkt always take so long to load? You have 5 goals.
Yeah. Once that website tried to hack me. I accidentally... They had an advertisement, and as I do, I'm scrolling through and just trying to get to somewhere, and advertisements are popping up. I accidentally clicked on it, and then it froze my screen and stuff, and it took me to this sort of website. Like, what's going on here? So I'm very careful when using Transfermarkt now. I actually didn't use it for a couple of months, but I'm back on it. They must have got rid of that now. They better have got rid of it, or I'll report their website. We get a better one that doesn't try and hack me.
But yeah, so in the past 5 seasons, Chris Wood got 12 goals, 5 goals, all in Premier League. 12 goals, 5 goals, 3 goals in an injury season. 14 goals and 20 goals. So he's had 1 bad season, 1 injury season, and 3 good seasons in the past 5. Now, just checking quickly if this guy is homegrown or not. He is homegrown. Okay,
okay.
He went to West Brom and the academy, and he played for West Brom. So he is homegrown.
Well, yeah. How old is he? Would you
33.
33. He may be at that point where, he had probably his best season he's going to have with Forest. Does he want to win a trophy? And if he'd come to City maybe. I don't know. I think it's actually be a decent option, to be fair, if he'd be willing to do it. But I just don't think he'd be willing to do it. Yeah, he is. I remember that. Thank you for letting us win the league the other season with all them misses in that home game. That guy's rattled all them Arsenal fans when we played him. Forest away 23-24. He missed like 5 sitters. I'm still convinced they were on purpose. Legend. So yeah, I think it'd be a vibe player. I'd be down. To be fair,
I'd be down. It will help out homegrown. Maybe that's our new agenda that we've got to run. Chris Wood to Man City. We will be there.
I think someone ran that in Martin's chat, and I think Martin is like full on agenda against Chris Wood. I'm pretty sure it was his chat. So I think that was pretty good.
I'm gonna tweet that out right now. Chris Wood to Man City. I've tweeted that out.
People will get a bit rattled by that because people get rattled by anything on Twitter.
Bro, Twitter, you could say on Twitter, don't kick bats, and people will find a way to get rattled by that. You can say the most inoffensive shit on Twitter, people will be offended. You seen the tweet I put out earlier about the DM icon on Twitter?
What on earth? It's mental. That's why on Twitter I've anyone who I don't follow, I've DM requests off because I don't want these people who disagree with my opinion DMing me stuff like that, because I just don't get people. Are these real humans? Are these Elon Musk bots coming out to get me? I like what's going on here. But Twitter is crazy, and like you said before in my chat, the moderation on there is absolutely crap. I get locked out for doing absolutely nothing. Apparently I breached copyright. How? But people are out there posting all sorts and still on Twitter, so it's interesting.
Bro, Elon Musk fired like half the company, and he said, yeah, I'm gonna make it better, and he made it worse.
A couple of weekends ago, it wasn't working. There was some tweets all weekend. Twitter wouldn't load, and the tweets that were showing up, it said like 5,000 likes 50 years ago, 1 view. Like, how have you messed up the servers that bad?
Bro, I don't get what Twitter is even trying to do anymore. They just completely ruined Twitter, let's be honest. They've just completely ruined that website. Because now everything on Twitter here is about just it's Twitter always used to be toxic. Let's be honest. But now the website here is just completely try to rattle people, try to rage bait. That's what the entire website is.
I see the same tweet, like let's say, quoting a thing like, "What's your favorite Sue from Ronaldo?" And I see this all the time. The same guy posts, the different guys post the same tweet, and each one gets like 3 million views, 3 million views just by recycling the same stuff. But Twitter's just it's mad. I hate the app. The only reason I'm on it is to, I'll be honest, get some people over to my channel from there, and to get City News, because otherwise I wouldn't get the instant City News. But it's a shame it has to come with all the toxic stuff on there.
Talking about City News, let's get exciting here. We signed Cherki and Ait Nouri. Now, Ait Nouri, who do you want to talk about first, actually? Who do you want to talk about first?
Ait Nouri. By the way, there's Cherki training photos. They must have all came back to training today. We should talk about, I guess we'll talk about Cherki then.
Yeah, so Cherki in training. Bro, I think it was Oliver. I think it was Oliver, actually. He was in chat earlier. I'm not sure if you're still here, Oliver. But you told me about Cherki time ago. And I told Oliver, I don't know, seems like a random player. Can't be that good. And then I went down and I sat down to watch a game of him. And I was like, yo, this guy is... He actually was terrible in the first 30 minutes, but then he stepped up. I was like, yo, this guy's proper good. So I went to watch another game of him. I watched both of the Man United games. He was the best player on that pitch by a country mile. So I watched 3 games of him this season, 3 live games, and I went back to watch 5 full games on replay. I have never seen this guy play a bad game. And people, it's like suddenly after that performance with France, people are talking about him. Suddenly people realize, yo, this is a random baller coming out of nowhere, and Man City just got him. I think Cherki is going to be one of our best players for the next 5 to 10 years, depending on how long he stays. That's how good he is. He is generational. People use that term easily, generational. He is generational, let's be honest. He's proper generational.
He's incredible. And you see praise from people like Thierry Henry saying he's never seen a guy that good at dribbling and that good with both feet. You're like, wow. And I've watched him, both United legs, of course, best player on the pitch. You missed out last Thursday night. I know you didn't watch that game, I don't think.
I didn't watch it.
Did you watch it?
I didn't watch it.
Oh, you didn't watch it, yeah. He was unbelievable. Like I was screaming when that goal went in. Everything was perfect. Every pass, was winning fouls, assisting, created everything. He got a team from 5-1 to 5-4. Should have been 5-5 if he basically put on a plate for someone he missed. I've not seen a performance like that in the entire of the 24-25 season from anyone. Just like so all-round good. And that was his France debut. That was his debut for France. And I find that incredible. So I don't think people might say, oh, it might take him time to settle. Which if it does, it's fine. It's a 30 million signing. But I don't think he will, because I think he'll just fit right in, like he's done at France. And in his first game, came on 5-1 down, best player on the pitch. Yamal got man of the match, but nope, he was not man of the match. It was Ryan Cherki. And every time I've watched him, the other day was probably the worst I've seen him play. But I think City was on his mind. It was it's a 3rd place winner's medal for the Nations League. But still, it was the worst I've seen him play, and he did a lot of good things. So I'm very excited. Do you think in the end...
He still played decent in that bad game, though. In that bad game, he still played decent.
And that's why, like you said, that's a generational player. In a bad game, it's still decent. And that's why I think he's incredible. I'm so excited for him. It's going to be insane. GA... I said I could see him maybe getting... I don't think he will. I could see him getting 35. Some people call me mad, but I just think he's going to
full on hit the ground running. 35 in all competitions?
Yeah.
I think he'll get that. Easily.
You know what? Actually thinking about it, if we go far in all comps, I'm going for
Think about it, Think about it. How many assists is he getting in the Premier League with Erling Haaland, Omar Marmoush, Phil Foden, Rodri, Nico Gonzalez, and Tijani Reinders, all consistent goal scorers? How much assists is he getting in the Premier League?
Hopefully assist record time. Marmoush and Haaland in front of you. You know what? Imagine he breaks that assist record.
I don't think he'll break it in his first season, but I think he can get
he will eventually.
Let's say 12 assists. Let's say 12 assists here. So 12 assists. How many goals is he getting in the Premier League? 5, 6, something like that?
I'll go 7.
7. Okay. So he's already at 19 GA in the Premier League alone. Champions League is now a lot easier to get GA in. We saw multiple players get 10 plus GA in the Champions League. I think Cherki will get at least 5 goals, 5 assists in the Champions League.
Yeah, I agree. There'll be a lot of dead games where I think hopefully he plays, and he'll just farm GA in them games, in my opinion. So yeah, I agree with that. 10 GA around that sort of mark. That's how we don't get to playoffs. Because if we do get to playoffs, probably even more.
We're already talking about 29 GA before the playoffs.
Yeah.
And without cups.
Yeah, no Carabao FA yet in that as well.
So 6 more GA, I think you'll definitely get that. I think this guy will be between 30 and 40. I think that should be the goal. 30 to 40 GA for this guy. But this Cherki, he brings so much more than just GA. He brings performances. Like, we flag that. Someone who can bring up performance and GA, who can do it both. He does that.
And that's why I think you don't get many players like that now who like full-on mint 90 minutes performance and produce a GA. I watch Mo Salah and I'm not like, oh wow, he's doing so many skills and dribbles. He gets a GA, but I'm not stunned by his like overall 90-minute performances. This guy, I think he's going to come in, be minting the 90 minutes and do all these skills and flicks, but actually produce a GA as well, which is what we need him for. And I think him and Haaland are going to build some link up. I think it's going to be generational. Would you rather Cherki Haaland or Vert Salah? I seen that debate today.
Cherki Haaland, not because Wirtz is bad, but because Salah is already aging. I think Haaland is a more prolific goal scorer anyhow. I mean, that's not even an opinion, that's a fact. Haaland is a more prolific goal scorer. Cherki is a very competent creator. And they're both Cherki and Haaland of a similar age. So I just think that Haaland, like if it was Wirtz Haaland or Cherki Salah, I would still go with Wirtz Haaland. And if it was Salah Haaland or Cherki Wirtz, I would again go with Haaland, because I think Haaland is a determining factor here. This is the thing here, what people do. Haaland only scored 40 goals this season. Oh my god, what a terrible season. He only scored 40 times.
His standards are different.
So this guy who scored 40 goals had a terrible season. By the way, with an injury in that season. When Erling Haaland scores 40 goals next season in the Premier League alone, because I think he will if he doesn't get any injuries, people will be talking about greatest of all time, best striker Premier League ever, all over again. This is what people need to learn, yeah? Haaland did not have a bad season with 40 goals. Man City had a bad season, and Haaland was the victim. Erling Haaland, next season, he's going to get 50, 60, maybe even 70 goals in all competitions, depending on how good the team is around him. This guy, when he starts scoring all these goals, people will appreciate it again. They'll say, oh wow, he's so great. People sometimes need to appreciate the raw ability to just score goals. Because I know football is not just statistics, but let's be honest. How many games of football have been won because you can do tricks? 0. All the games of football ever won is because a goal has been scored. It's very simple sometimes. More goals means you win. That's the most difficult thing to do in football. When someone does this 40 times in a season, in a bad season, with an injury, and a terrible team around him, that is a generational player. So people need to start respecting that, desperately need to start respecting that.
Yeah.
And they will do it again next season when he scores like 40 league goals.
I get what you mean by the victim, because I was just fuming every time we lost the game. And I saw online all these rival fans and some even City fans going in at Haaland when he scored, like Arsenal 5-1 away. Stay humble, all directed at Haaland. He did his job that game. He scored a world-class header. Real Madrid at home. He was the reason we're in that game. He performed in big games this season. People don't respect that. The only one he didn't was the FA Cup final, and that was a bit of a madness. Still don't know why he didn't take the penalty. But yeah, I think people need to respect him more. And just quick goal prediction next season, I think he'll get 60 in all comps. That'll be his records. Fingers crossed, Ballon d'Or. I beg. Let's hope he don't get robbed this time. Or there's a World Cup in there. Oh, here we go. Yeah. Maybe if he can take Norway to a
he has taken Norway to the World Cup, hasn't he?
Maybe if he could maybe somehow scam their way to the quarters. Can they add that into it?
Yeah, get quarter final with Norway, win Champions League, finish top 5 in Premier League. That's Ballon d'Or done. Should be. Especially if he scores in Champions League final. Because here's a cool statistic about Haaland. He has scored in more finals than, or he has scored more final goals, should I say, than Mohamed Salah and Thierry Henry combined. They can gain in that as well. He scored 2 goals in the German Cup final. Salah has scored 1, Harry Kane has scored 0, and Thierry Henry has scored 0.
Yeah, I didn't know Thierry Henry's record was that bad in finals.
Yeah, he's never scored in a final. He missed 3 chances. Crazy. He missed 3 one-on-ones in a final against Barcelona in 2006.
That's a bit of a bottle job there in that instance. Here comes all the Arsenal fans anyway. But Arsenal fans don't like Thierry Henry anymore because he slagged off the amazing cult leader Arteta that they all love for no reason. Did you see them all online slagging off Henry for Arteta?
Just accept it, just accept it. These guys, they're terrible right now, and they're embracing being terrible. Just look on, applaud it, and say, "You got it, bro. You got it." Just laugh at them and say, "Yeah, you're doing this the way you should," because that's 3 trophies. Let's be honest. 3 years in a row, the Premier League title has been free for Man City twice and once for Liverpool. It's been free.
Don't forget,
ain't competition.
At the start of last season, when Pep leaves, when City go back, when City have an off season, it can only be us. If Arne Slot finishes above Mikel Arteta should be sacked, and then eventually injuries, and excuses. And they say the same thing for next season. If Arteta doesn't win anything, he should be sacked. But eventually they'll make an excuse for him again because they love him. And they even have a banner in the stadium that says the best looking Spaniard we know. So we know that football club by now. I feel bad for the ones who actually older fans and experience success because they must be sick of people celebrating second every season.
I need you to understand something about Arsenal. They have not won a league title. Well, they have won a league title in my lifetime. They have not won a league title in my living memory. The last time they won a league title was 2004. I was a baby.
Not in my lifetime either. That's not in my lifetime at all. So
it was in my lifetime, but like not in my living memory, of course. It's 2004.
Yeah.
To put it this way, 20-year-old this year, someone who turns 20 this year, in their lifetime, Arsenal has not won a league title.
That's actually crazy. 20-year-old Arsenal fans. Wow. Not a football club. They're not seeing one anytime soon anyway. They had their chance last season. They blew it.
And if you wait another 10 years, because they won't win a title in the next 10 years, I'm going to be honest with you, it's going to be Liverpool and Man City the next 10 years. And honestly, Chelsea will win a title before Arsenal, I think. In the next 10 years, you're going to look at 30-year-old Arsenal fans who've never seen a league title.
Trust the process. Arteta, injuries, excuses. And I wouldn't even be surprised with them. If he's still getting top 4, imagine he's still there as well. Every season, trust the process.
And what is the average demographic of an Arsenal fan? It's between 22 and 26.
Yeah.
So it's the average demographic in the Emirates. So 22 to 26 years old. I mean, 22-year-olds already. Like, you're born in 2003. You were 1 year old when they last won the title. So you don't remember that shit. Like, the average demographic of Arsenal fans don't remember their last league title. That is now already.
It's actually crazy.
Now you wait another 10 years. Not a single of the average demographic will remember the Invincibles. Not a single one.
That's actually mental.
And
wow.
Let's talk about the other way about that, yeah? Let's talk about Algerians, because we've got 2 of them. One of them is technically French, but we'll call him Algerian just for the sake of it. To suit my agenda.
Yeah.
Who is the biggest legend in recent history, arguably all of history, for Algeria?
You know, well, it's Mahrez, isn't it?
Yeah, it's Mahrez. Who did Mahrez play for?
Manchester City.
What team are all young Algerians rooting for?
Manchester City again?
Yeah. Because,
not Arsenal?
Yeah. So all these young Algerians coming up, they're going to be Man City fans. Why do you think Ait Nouri and Jack are so desperate for us?
Want to be like their idol Mahrez, because he's been there and done it. He's the biggest legend. They want to follow on his exact footpaths, don't they?
Yeah, exactly. With Argentinians, we already see that. We are big in Argentina. We're not Barcelona big, but we are big in Argentina. Because Sergio Aguero, Carlos Tevez, Otamendi, so many players, yeah. Obviously Alvarez recently, Echeverri now. We've had a lot of very good Argentinians.
Yeah, we have plenty. Also in just local European countries as well. Like I went to Spain, Barcelona 2 summers ago. I actually went back-to-back summers, and I just kept seeing loads of kids in city tops. Not in Barcelona tops, in city tops. I'm like, wow, you got Barcelona in your footstep and you're all wearing city tops. I'm like, when you're big, I guess.
I think a lot of people fail to realize this. As well, if you go in Manchester, by the way, and you can confirm this yourself, there's a lot of Man City tops in Manchester. I know it's not that much outside of Manchester and England, but in Manchester, there's a lot of them. And that's going to continue to grow. We've not actually talked yet about about Cherki that much. We've talked a bit about him, but not that much. Ait Nouri. We've not talked about him at all. Some people think that he's our most important transfer. I'm torn on this. I'm not sure if it's Ait Nouri or Reinders, because Ait Nouri, obviously, he keeps Gvardiol in that centre back spot to begin with. He's also very good at attacking, isn't he? Ait Nouri, what do you think of him?
I love him. Again, it's another one, and this is why I'm a big fan of this Hugo Viana. These are all players that I wanted. I always said if we couldn't get Verts, Cherki's the guy. I said, yeah, Ait Nouri would be one of my main fullbacks I want to get. Reinders would be one of my main midfielders, and this Ait Nouri guy, I rate him highly. I see this myth going around, oh, he can't really defend. But I've seen him when he's full-on focused defending. He's pocketed the best wingers in the league when full-on focused defending. And at City, He'll be focusing all the time. He won't be switching off. He won't be allowed to switch off. I just think that it's a brilliant signing. I think it's going to elevate Omar Marmoushi's game, Erling Haaland's game. And Marmoush going to absolutely thrive from this because his like near crosses to the near post, Marmoush can hopefully run in onto that. And then Haaland, when we actually played with fullback, when Sergio Gomez had his brief cameo appearances off the bench, I swear he assisted Haaland a few times, like just directly.
Cancelo
against Cancelo as well. Yeah. Cancelo in his few months he played with Haaland, he assisted him quite a few times. So
remember the Dortmund game?
That was insane. That cross and that goal. I'm still staggered at how high he got his foot then. It literally was above the 6'2", 6'3" defender's head. It's insane. But yeah, Aït-Nouri's going to be brilliant. I think he's very, very good technically. I think this is going to be probably the best left back in the league next season. I think he's incredibly good technically, mint at dribbling, and he's going to cause the fullbacks a problem up the other end. He could probably dribble past them and stuff. So I'm so excited for this, and I'm so glad that Pep's realised to abandon these 4 centre backs. It doesn't work anymore, and now we're on to fullbacks, and I'm really excited to watch us play. And Aït-Nouri's a big part of that.
Yeah, no, I agree completely. One thing though, yeah, with Aït-Nouri. Aït-Nouri, I think, is going to play very high up the pitch, which is going to mean that he's going to be pretty much a wing back, because he can defend. Don't get me wrong, but that is really going to be his role, I think, in the team. So I understand some people's concerns with Aït-Nouri defensively, but here's my thing: you don't get Aït-Nouri, yeah, you're not going to get anyone as good as him. To play that wing-back role, who is Premier League proven. Maybe you can go get Hakimi, but you'll pay 3 times the money. So I understand the defensive problems people see with him. The problem is, we'll play the same system with or without Aït-Nouri. Now the question is, do you want to play that system with Aït-Nouri or without him?
Probably with him, because I just think he has to be in that starting 11. I think he's absolutely fantastic. But what about you? What do you think?
Yeah, no, I think Aït-Nouri is perfect for the system I imagine we're going for. Like, I just look at the players we're buying. I look at Marmoush, who will play left wing, I imagine. Marmoush is not going to be a touchline winger, let's be honest.
No, we'll live and then Aït-Nouri will push up.
Yeah, so Gvardiol, if you look at how Gvardiol played, he played as almost a left winger sometimes. Aït-Nouri can play that exact same way, but actually do it right. And he's quick enough to come back down. He's quick enough, he's motivated enough. And he can even help in pressing, because sometimes, some games of Wolves, he will actually press up quite high. So, Aït-Nouri, like again, I understand why people are concerned defensively with Aït-Nouri. But the only thing I can say is the system I imagine we're going for, I don't know anyone else as good as Aït-Nouri for this system. Except maybe like the Hakimis of this world, the Theo Hernandezes.
Yeah,
but you're not getting those.
Yeah, exactly. And I just think you got Prem-proven player, very good age as well. I'm just really excited to go back to fullbacks. I don't know about you, but well, of course, you think this season City have been, for me, one of the most boring teams in the league. I had no excitement watching them. I had no excitement going to games. I want that excitement back, and players like Aït-Nouri are going to help bring that. This system's going to help bring that. Fullbacks, bombing up the wing. Marmoush, goal scorer. He's going to be near them fullbacks, and the fullbacks can pass to Marmoush. If Marmoush is marked, then that will leave some space for Haaland as well, vice versa. So this Aït-Nouri, I think he's going to be absolutely fantastic. I think his technical skills are elite for a left back. His dribbling, he's seen a skill compilation like this. Is this really a left back? But people are overdoing the defensive thing if people are that concerned. I don't think it'll be that concerning. Plus, you've got a player finally at centre back who will cover him for him very well when he goes up, Josko Gvardiol. And that's another thing like you mentioned before. It's why I'm so glad we signed a left back, because finally Josko is going to be a centre back, which is what he's supposed to be, because he's a world class centre back. So for me, I don't see any negatives in this signing at all. I don't know about you though.
It's our first left back since Mendy.
Mental. And Mendy played what? Probably like 20 full games. He barely played whatsoever.
To be fair, he was good in the Centurion season.
Yeah, for like 5 games. He was injured.
Shush,
I remember that.
Shush, Liam, shush.
I remember that. I remember that 19. Imagine he didn't get injured though. I remember that Liverpool home game. How good we were, and that was in the end. Liverpool, I think, finished like fourth or third that season. We stacked them up, and we never got to see that sort of team again. That 4-4-2, Mendy, Walker bombing up. I'm hoping we get one of them games at the start of this season, like against the Chelsea or someone like that, where we just slap 4 or 5 past them and go, yeah, this system's the real deal and stuff. Imagine though, and this is a bit negative, we start next season badly. Imagine what will be going on in the fan base. I actually go mental.
Bro, we're not there yet. Give me time to rest. We're not there yet. I can't even rest watching Belgium, bro. You seen that? We were 3 goals up, and we went to 3-3.
Apparently, I see loads of Doku stands on Twitter saying apparently he had his best game ever, and apparently I'm so unlucky I didn't watch him, according to these Doku stands on Twitter. So I guess you watched the game. So was he any different to what he was for City?
He was shit, bro. But this is what people don't get here. He took on a fullback who can't defend because he's playing against Wales, ran past him, took a shot, which at least 3 centre-backs should have blocked, but they all walked away from the ball, and the goalkeeper should have had it. But it just went off his hand and into the back of the net. Bro, and that goal is the only reason people say he played well. That goal. That's the only reason. They're the only claim to have played a half-decent game.
From the angle I saw, that was a blooming goalkeeper. It was he like tapped it at the keeper and he let it through his hands, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that is what happened. He just let it go through his hand. He's never scored in that goal in the Premier League. Like, he's shit, bro. He's shit.
It was a similar shot. It was just on target. At the end, that really annoyed me. At the end of the FA Cup final where he just like tapped it out. I'm like, it's the last second in the final and you do that. It's the same shot, but he just somehow got it on target and the keeper had an absolute stinker. But no, amazing performance apparently. Well, you confirm how it's not.
Yeah, but all 7 Belgian wingers better than Doku. It's crazy. I need this guy to fall off, I need this guy to stop being hyped up. Because that's why he gets called up. He's hyped up.
He won't be at City after next season anyway. I'm actually pretty confident of that.
I would hope so. But yeah, I need this guy's hype to die down. Sorry. I need this guy's hype to die down so he stops getting called up, man. I will right now, I will name you 7 Belgian wingers better than Jeremy Doku. Okay? Let's start. Adriano Bertaccini. That's number 1. Number 2, Luke Bacchio. Number 3, Bakayoko. Number 4, Charles de Ketelaere. Number 5, because he's more of a winger than a midfielder. Like, go watch him if you disagree. I watched his entire Bruges career. Number 5, Alex Salmakers, however you pronounce it. You've already got 5 players there. Castro Montes, you've got 6. And then, if you really want to stretch it a bit, you can put Trossard in there as well. But Trossard, it's not that good, but you can put him in there. That's 7 Belgian wingers better than Doku. Yeah. And I'm supposed to rate this guy. I want this guy to never get called up again.
I'm seeing fans on Twitter putting him in the starting 11s for next season. I'm like, oh, is Omar Mamouche a joke to you? I'm sorry, I just got to call this out. Some of the disrespect I'm seeing to Omar Mamouche on this Twitter rap amongst the City fan base is ridiculous. The guy come in, top goal scorer since January in the absolute depleted City team. The end of the day, probably the reason we ended up getting Champions League football. Like I said, the top goal scorer. And I'm just constantly seeing people not putting in the starting 11 for next season, putting Doku over him. He was our 3rd top goal scorer last season. He joined in January. Imagine him around in a good team. Next season, Omar Mamouche as well, he's going to be at that 30-40 GA mark. I'm pretty confident. What do you think? of some of this docu over Marmoush. I'm seeing it on Twitter. I'm not making it up. I'm sure people in the chat have seen it. If anyone is in the chat, docu over Marmoush, I'd like to know your reason why, because these people on Twitter still haven't explained their thinking. So, what do you think?
Thinking, explained FC. A lot of people thought Doku was going to be the next big thing. Got Doku into their profile picture and they can't go back from it. That's the problem.
Yeah, that's it's mental the way some of these people do it. I can't lie.
Anyhow, to close off the stream, the last thing to talk about, I suppose. What do you think about Naipan? Is that how you pronounce it?
I think it is Naipan. I'm pretty sure, but that's just how I've heard other people pronouncing it. To be honest.
Yeah. What do you think of him?
Honestly, I don't remember watching him. I'm not going to come on here and lie and say yes. I watch. Where does he even play? Rosenberg?
You don't watch the Norwegian League.
No, people. But apparently, loads of people on Twitter watch the Norwegian League. Apparently, but no, some actual Norwegians, which I believe do watch him, are saying they're very excited about this guy. They rate him very highly. Of course, we beat Arsenal and Villa to his signature. He swooped in apparently pretty late on. The player only wanted City, so it's another one now in Norway, North Europe as well. Another player who coming up through that academy is only wants City. But yeah, I think it's a good sign. Just send out to Leon, see how he does, and if he's mint, you've got a player who can come in and be a squad player for the season after. So
Naipan, I actually, I'm not sure if this is true, but I actually read he's going to Girona.
Girona.
Yeah.
So it will be Barta at Leon then, won't it?
Yeah. So I guess Girona is still fine. Loan him out to Girona, see how he does. It's the same difference really, but it still means you have to loan someone else out to Lyon. Bro, I think
can you please?
I think we're going to loan out Echeverri.
No. Do you not? Well, where would Bar go then? Would he just go to Southampton like rumoured? You think?
God no, bro.
It's going to be Echeverri. I wanted to see him stay. I wanted to see him get some game time. But yeah, I do think this Naipan kid, I like what people are saying. These Norwegians are actually, I don't know if you've seen him on Twitter, actually well excited about him, saying that this could be another one of these big level talents coming out of Norway again. And yeah, he only wanted City. I love that. That proves what we said earlier on. Let's see how he does at Girona, Lyon, wherever he goes. Probably Girona then. Hopefully he does well, and if he does do well, we maybe can bring him into the squad for the season after, and if he just does all right, we could sell him on for profit. It's simple as that, to be honest. But yeah, that's my opinion on him. I think it's a decent little signing. And Hugo Viana, the window's shut for 7 days, but he's still working, so love to see it.
For me, it's just okay. Yeah, I don't mind either way. I think it's just nice to have someone new in there. Just loan him out to Girona and see. We did take him from Arsenal's hands, as some made points out, which I'm happy about. Anytime we can fuck up Arsenal, applaud, bruv, applaud. These fucking frauds. Bro, I will make a prediction right now. Clip me up on this, bro. Clip me up on this. Arsenal will not win another league title until 2030 at least. Until at least 2030, they'll not win another league title. Because Man City is going to win 3 league titles by then. So you're 26, 27, 28 already. And I'm not saying we'll win those league titles, but like, that's the year we're at already. Liverpool will win at least 1 league title. So you're already at 2029. And now at least 1 league title, Chelsea. Chelsea will win a league title before Arsenal. But already at 2030.
Yeah.
Arsenal is fucked, bro. They are fucked.
They're moving mad in that transfer market. Arteta.
No, they ain't moving, bro. They're not moving, bro.
Well,
you're saying they're moving mad. They're not moving at all, bro. They're
Arteta had the chance. Gyökeres, 60 million. The new sporting director was desperate for him. But this shows Arteta's got a cult going on over there. he's gone, no, Sesko, 90 million, Sesko it is, 90 million, instead of Gyökeres for 60. And I see the fan base going, most of them on Twitter, yes, Sesko, amazing. Sesko is not going to take them to a league title. He is not. They need someone like Gyökeres, not Sesko. But yet again, they won't win the league. Excuses, Arteta will stay on, And I don't see Arteta going anywhere anytime soon, to be honest, because as long as they keep getting top 5,
yay,
he's staying. Top 4, he's staying. And I'm buzzing about that. Because if they got a serious manager, he would change things up with that director. It probably would end up winning the league. But I think Arteta's in no jeopardy. He should be, but he's not. He should have been sacked years ago.
You know what's done this? Normally, the sporting director is able to sack the manager.
Yeah.
But at Arsenal, the manager sacks the sporting director. It's all ass backwards, isn't it?
He seems to have complete control. Like, this Bert has come in, and apparently, yes, Gyökeres, and suddenly, apparently, like, these people tweeting out saying, nope, Arteta, Sesko, and now they have to get Sesko. Why? They let him have so much power.
Bro, you know what he's going to do? He's going to play Sesko left wing, and he's going to put Merino into striker. Zubimendi will play the 6, Declan Rice will play the 8, and Havertz will play the 10. And Odegaard, he'll stop playing. Watch. It will happen.
He always does drop a... He does drop a big player each season. I've noticed that. He tried to do it to Gabriel at the start of 23-24 and just tried to party at right back and drop Gabriel, which was weird. So I see him doing it to one of them. I don't know who, but I think he's going to drop one big player from that team.
Yeah, it's a weird obsession. He needs to be the big man for some reason.
I think
he can't allow any player to be bigger than him because he's got a small ego.
I think if Arsenal have like one bad result at the start of the season and they're looking around these players like Saliba, all these like they're better players looking around going, can we really bother to do this again? Like, look who's coming, Sesko. I don't know who else they're signing. Like, if they got Gyökeres and maybe someone like a Rodrigo, they'd look, all right, we're inspired, let's go, let's do this. They've got the energy. But they're looking around and thinking, this Sesko guy ain't going to take us to a league title. And that's why I'm just not concerned about Arsenal. It's us versus Liverpool. And I think we're going to have some cracking games with Liverpool next season. Could it be the season this new team has the minerals to win at Anfield? That's the dream. I don't think it'll happen, but I just want to beat them at the Etihad. And hopefully get a draw at Anfield against them. But I do think we'll have some cracking games against Liverpool. Arsenal, I want to beat them because I'm sick of them. Just the mutants online to keep saying stay humble for no reason.
Saka will join Real Madrid in 2026 to win a trophy.
The head loss from them would be unreal. Saliba definitely going sometime soon. But Saka, that's a mad shout. But he definitely, if Arsenal don't win a trophy in the next few years, Saka will be off, no question.
Bro, you remember Sol Campbell? Well, we don't remember, but like Sol Campbell, he said, I'm never leaving Spurs. The next day he was holding up an Arsenal shirt. Now Arsenal is the new Spurs, bro. Derek Blades, I'm never leaving Arsenal. Next day, they'll hold up a fucking Spurs shirt to win trophies, bruv. Because Spurs is winning trophies.
Do you think he'd could? I hope he comes. Do you think he could come to City? If it's not out of the question, like in a few years, he could do.
You know where I think he could go? Liverpool to replace Salah.
Yeah, because Salah will leave, won't he?
I think he might go to Liverpool, to be honest. But yeah, anyhow, that's everything for us. We are going to rate Luke from Not In My Lifetime. Well, we're going to rate Not In My Lifetime podcast, should I say. So, Alfred in chat, guys. Alfred in chat. Big up to everyone for sticking in here, liking, subscribing, and all of that. If you haven't already, like and subscribe. Thank you for Liam for coming on. No face stream, guys. Alf Vervaken lost his face, guys. So we're doing it with our PFP today. But yeah, people were moving around in my background all day, so all stream. So that's why I had I didn't have my camera on. Thank you to Liam for coming on again. I enjoy coming on your channel. We're gonna do something on Liam's channel at some point. We haven't agreed when yet, but I'm assuming Liam will figure out his schedule and he'll probably DM me when he's planning to have me come on. So yeah, if you want to see that, go subscribe to Liam. In fact, I don't believe I've dropped your link yet. I'm a terrible collaborator here. I'm a fraud.
Yeah, probably we'll do something, guys, near like probably like when we get into that knockouts of the Club World Cup to review what's happening with the squad so far. That'll probably be the plan, something like that.
There you go, I've dropped your link here. There you go. I'm not a fraud anymore, guys. I'm not a fraud. So yeah, go check out Liam, Alfred, and chat, and we'll see you guys on the next one.